I said cease!
I am Carmilla. I am come from far Styria to join the War Council.
Hi guys! Welcome or welcome back. As you may already know, I'm Ellie and this is my Speedpaint channel. So, how have you been? I see some people here already and I'm really happy. Even if we're still just a few, it's cozy. I really appreciate you all for coming on here to watch me draw and listen to me ramble. You're true champs. These following few days before going back to my uni routine will be quite busy, but I'm still drawing a ton to de-stress and also to practice. I will also be moving soon and won't have any Wi-Fi for a while, so I think I'll just schedule what I have saved up or just disappear for some time. As you know, you can follow me on Insta, on Twitter, where I'm most active. If you want to keep up with me, I'll be there. And don't forget to subscribe here if you want to keep seeing my cartoon mug around your feed. And so, on the subject of today's drawing we have Carmilla from Castlevania. I wanted something simple that would also pop out, and after gathering a ton of references for the concept, the pose and everything like that, I came up with this. I mostly use Pinterest for inspiration, even though I know it's not very professional. I like that it's so visually driven, and for the most part it always gives me what I look for. When it comes to Castlevania, I must say that Alucard is my favorite character. Not only because he's super pretty, but because I find that along with being super powerful, he's also capable of being vulnerable. I haven't finished the last season of the series, I'm on like chapter 5, and I really want to continue, but sometimes my brain just goes, nope, no watching anything, too much work, and I end up never finishing any series. Which is a shame, honestly, because I'm sure I would love them, but what is one to do? Anyway, sorry for getting off track. As I was saying, I love Alucard and Sypha and Isaac. They are like my top 3 Castlevania characters. I guess I have a thing for the intelligent types. Honestly, most characters in the Castlevania animation are very nicely written, and to be honest, I love them all equally in different ways. But Carmilla, she's different, I think. I really like her character design as well as her role in the story, and I feel like, as far as I've watched, she's a coherent character all in all. But I must say that I like the concept of Carmilla, the character in general, even separate from the context of Castlevania. She came before Dracula after all, which I find very interesting because even in her origins, she was an example of the lesbian vampire, which honestly what an iconic term. But her preferences and romantic desires towards women are surprisingly not antagonized in the original novel. And that's super cool because it was written in the late 1800s, if I remember correctly. And for the time period, that's super rare. So like, Carmilla to me is truly an icon, and I plan on reading that book soon because I love vampire fiction. As a side note, in this drawing I only used one brush. It's a square oil paint brush that you can get for free on Clip Studio Assets, just with those keywords. And honestly, I just went for it. Chose the colors, made different layers for each element, you know, all that good stuff. I just wanted to get image in my head out and about as effectively and fast as possible. I didn't even use any layer modes because I wanted to combine all the layers in the end to erase a liquid looking trail without as much effort. Also, I've slowed it up a bit so it's easier to see what I'm doing and to rumble and chit chat a bit more. Carrying on with the subject of Castlevania, I've always loved the games, although I'm honestly terrible at playing them and always get super frustrated. So I resorted to watching playthroughs, and they were always a fun watch. I love the character designs, and the plots are always interesting. This is the same for the Netflix show, although I hesitated a ton before I started watching. Let's be honest, Netflix doesn't have the best reputation with adaptations, and I was scared that they'd waste the potential that this franchise has. But even though it's not perfect, I really enjoyed it as its own story and universe. They did a really good job with that concept, and up until this point, I can't say I'm disappointed, honestly. I've heard mixed feelings about the ending, but I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really form an opinion about it. When it comes to their depiction of Carmilla, I also enjoyed it. She has her reasons to oppose Dracula, and well, from there onwards, it's just her reliving trauma. Of course, she's evil, but that's not all there is to her. When she argued with Lenore about how stupid old man had always taken things from her for most of her life, I honestly got chills. She's a believable antagonist, in my very humble opinion. I really liked how the show didn't really try to make the watchers empathize with her in a weird and forced way, but that rather you can just see her for what she is, and in a way pity her because she mostly acts from a place of hurt and perceived injustice. I guess being a vampire doesn't exclude you from needing therapy. Which, eternity is too long, you know? Do you really want to be traumatized forever? Or traumatize yourself further? That's whack. And let's be honest, if Dracula had gone to therapy, none of the events in Castlevania would have taken place. So, need I say more? Like, of course humans are shitty, but Carmilla is right. If there are no humans, there is no food. I've given her her final look because of course I spoiled some things for myself while looking for pictures of her, and I honestly really like the contrast of red and blue in her eyes. I think it's such a cool choice. And it implies more anger and wrath than if the red were to be black, for example. Generally, I really like the aesthetics of her final moments, grim as that may sound. And her dress is iconic, but it's actually not my favorite of her. I really love her design from the first season. I adore that gold neck plate, it's so gorgeous. I almost drew her in that fit, but I wanted to keep the red and blue eyes, and just decided to do something about her ending, even though I haven't actually seen it yet. Lately, I've been really into this oil paint brush. I feel like it makes everything look extra nice, and as my style evolves, I find that the old-timey portrait feel kinda fits it super well. I'm also developing another techniques, but by far I think my favorite is definitely the oil paint. Honestly, I've got so many unfinished drawings and projects that I'm actually getting kind of stressed out. But I know that bit by bit I'll be able to finish them and get them out and about. I'm just easily discouraged, which isn't something great for an artist to be. So that's just great for me, isn't it? I'm wondering, do you guys have any suggestions of things for me to talk about? Would you like for me to talk more about the drawings, maybe talk about some more specific topics? I'd really like to hear your opinions, because these videos are for you guys. I'm always open to suggestions and requests, and you can leave them in the comments. I've embarrassingly run out of things to say, and I'm sorry, but this is only my second script. I'm still getting a handle on things, and honestly doing voiceovers is more difficult than I thought, and it's giving me hell today. So I won't ramble any longer. I hope the glitches didn't bother you a lot. And I hope you like this video. You can let me know by commenting, liking, and subscribing. Thank you so much for watching and for spending some lovely time with me. I'll see you all on the next one. Bye!